Hey everybody! Jesus, my voice gets gayer and gayer as this show goes on with me playing these games. Anyway, so welcome to the bonus episode today. We usually only do 2 uploads a week, but pulled some strings just to play some Kirby. Special little episode right now because, as most gamers know, president of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, passed away this week, and, just a little tribute to him. Wanted to play a little Kirby, wanted to talk about Nintendo a little bit, because I was a Nintendo baby. I grew up with Nintendo. Oh, Jesus, I didn't mean to press the cut. I grew up with Nintendo games, like, on a constant basis, like I really did. But, oh, the controls are all wacky. Whatever. So, want to say this right now, actually. This is just a little tribute thing. This is not a huge thing because I don't want to make myself seem like I'm a faker or I'm phoning it in because, I'm trying to get views for my channel or anything. Not going to say names, but there are some people who actually do things like that. And, I just feel as though, it helps to pay credit where credit is due in life because, when you're a kid, you never think about, like, the people who's developing these games that you play your entire childhood. You never think, like, like, if you would have told me Shigeru Miyamoto's name, I would have been like, who the hell is that, And, it's not that that's my fault or anything. It's just these are, in a way, to us older gamers, like, obviously we know, like, we keep up with E3 and everything, but, like, to the kids making memories with video games and everything, they kind of come off as unsung heroes in a way, because, they just don't know. They don't know about, like, developers or companies or anything like that, but, I don't know. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't really, like, of course I didn't know the guy personally. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and try to be some form of faker or something. That's not me. I just, you gotta show some respect when you're, as a gamer and everything like that. It was a really big thing. It was a pretty big hit to the games industry in general, and to gamers everywhere, really. I mean, there were constant barrages of tweets all night and this morning about Iwata's death and, just complications that happened. It answered a lot of questions about why he didn't, go to E3 and whatnot, and but it made a lot of sense, and, well, not that he died. That never makes any sense. Like, that's not cool. But that being said, I just wanted to play a little Kirby, talk a little bit about Nintendo, because Nintendo is actually rather important to me as a gamer, because I never had more fun playing games as I did when I was playing Nintendo games. Like, I know people have probably heard this before and everything like that. It's just, if you like games like Call of Duty and Destiny and all those other games sponsored by Mountain Dew and Doritos, good for you. Play what you like. It's completely fine. Live free to game, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you. But at the same time, I just feel like sometimes those games, it's what they symbolize and it's what they become, and it's a little bit like, it becomes a little bit of a chore. Like, I'm not knocking these games, and this isn't an opportunity for me to just be like, Nintendo over anything else, but all I'm trying to say is, like, honestly, I visit friends' houses a lot and stuff like that, and, I'll see them playing, like, the newest COD game or trying to level up in Destiny or whatever, and they just look so miserable because they're, like, they're doing, like, this, they're treating gaming like it's a second job, and it's not, man. And, like, based on a lot of things that I've read and a lot of things that I've seen, again, making it very clear that I didn't know a crap ton about Iwata, and I'm making that very clear. But that being said, it's like, based on a lot of things that I'm reading and everything like that, the guy was really just for fun. He did it for the games, and that's a really honorable thing to, pay attention to and to keep in mind at this time. And, just as gamers in general, I feel like a lot of times we get caught up in, like, all these little things, especially nowadays that they have, like, stuff like Gamergate and, like, all this other stuff that, like, these big controversies that happens in, like, gaming and everything. And it's like, remember when we used to do this for fun? You guys remember that? Like, when gaming didn't have to feel like we were working. Like, I do this because to escape work. And when I soon met the fine people at Gamer Assault Weekly, and then I found out, hey, you can actually do this as a job, I was like, you know? So overall, I don't know. It's got me thinking a lot about It's got me thinking a lot about like game stuff in general, you know, like video games have always been like a very important thing to me. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. That's why I write for the website. 'Cause like at the end of the day, it's like this made me feel better when I was younger, when I was like bullied, when I had relatives who passed away, when I had just stressful stuff on my mind, you know. Gaming, it just put me in the perspective and like the, you know, it put me in the place of somebody who had like power and an objective, and like it just made me feel like I wasn't myself. And that's not to say like, oh, I hate myself. It's really interesting to think about in that aspect, and that's why gaming has been important to me for so many years. And for all of those years, Nintendo has pretty much been like the backbone of my happiness. I mean, even today, like, sorry guys, but I have I have a lot more fun playing like Splatoon and Zelda and Mario than I do with like what is everybody into nowadays? Like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna name drop because I don't want anybody thinking that this is like me taking an opportunity to hate on, you know, AAA gaming or whatever, even though it's not exactly amazing, but whatever. No. Look, in all seriousness, I don't know. Sometimes I think that maybe we should just take a step back and just like think about like the way things are. Like, I remember I was working this job. This was a while ago when the Wii U first came out. And there was this one coworker I had. He was a big PC gamer, like huge PC gamer. When I told him that I first bought my Wii U and I was really excited to use it, he was like laughing at me he was literally like, dude, you're the only person I know who ever bought a Wii U. And I know the sales of the Wii U, like I know the situation that's going on with it right now. I know all that. Okay, fine, whatever. But at least I was having a good friggin' time. I still, to this day, I'm like I'm having fun with like Smash Brothers in HD with all these characters I never thought I'd see in the game before, just like I used to back in the day when we used to play it on the Nintendo 64 after school, you know? Like, I don't get those memories from shooting a gun or living my gaming life through the crosshairs, you know? I'm just having more fun with what I'm doing now, you know? Although it seems like I'm not very good at it, but it's because I'm playing with a keyboard. I apologize. I didn't set up any keys in advance, so I'm kind of limited, but I think I'm doing all right. Anyway, but keep forgetting what the jump button is. Anyway, so I don't know. That's my thoughts on like gaming. That's how it always has been for like a pretty long time. Like, I know that people have complaints about Nintendo, such as the fact that they're one-trick ponies. Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of the Mario games and every single one of the Pokemon games, that game is always going to be the exact same game every single time. And it's true. It's fine. I completely secede to that as a Nintendo fan. But at the same time, I feel like, oh, you chicken, you bastard. You were waiting for me to do that. At the same time, I feel like, look, you know, the fans had a lot to do with, you know, the decisions that Nintendo made. Like, the fans would always ask for certain things, and then Nintendo would give them, and then we'd be like, oh my god, then we would just bitch and moan about it all the time, and I don't know. It was very complicated, but whatever. It's not a big deal. The point I'm trying to make is that, like, sometimes I wish like gaming was different. I always feel like once you add like a leaderboard or like a ranking match or something, the fun is immediately taken away, because then it's not about your experience anymore. It's about the fact that you kind of just like, now all of a sudden you're doing it because you want to be the best. You want to make it to number one. Everybody wants to make it to number one now. It wasn't about making it to number one when you were playing as Mario trying to get your next fire flower before your boss fight at Bowser's Castle, you know? It wasn't... Shit. I missed the jump button again. I'm sorry. I know I'm sucking right now, but it's more about my words and less about my gameplay. But, Jesus, I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. This is an embarrassment. But yeah. So that's just how it'd been. It was pretty critical of a time. Everybody had some pretty kind words to say about Iwata on social media and everything like that. That he was, he really contributed to people's childhoods, and I think it's important that like a lot of people remember that concept because it's the truth. Like he actually did. Like the guy made games that like you could bring up to any person in the world, and majority of the time they'll be like, yeah, I remember that. Like I would bring it up to like my relatives who are like these burly construction worker people who like worked in factories their whole life, and I didn't even know that they knew anything about gaming. And then I'll bring up like Donkey Kong Country or something, and they'll be like, yeah, I remember that game, I remember the NES. So really, I've always felt like gaming is a really good way, like those were always the two ways in my opinion that people come together. Video games and alcohol, but not, just I'm not trying to make an inappropriate statement right now. I'm just simply saying that sometimes, I've made a lot more friends drunk than I have sober. But whatever, that's not what this is about. So I don't know. Point is, I very heavily enjoy, having a good time, even though I'm not doing so well right now. I keep getting the attack button and the jump button mixed up, and that's why I'm so poop. Oh my god, why am I so horrible right now? It's because I'm playing on a friggin' keyboard. God. Come on, let me kill him. Let me just kill him real fast. No. Oh, God. That's annoying. Damn it. Whatever. If I had a legitimate controller, that I wouldn't be friggin' failing like this. The only game that I actually consider myself bad at is friggin' DuckTales. So don't play me. Alright, I think I don't want this power. I think I'm gonna go with Cutter. Yeah. So I'm just gonna make this like just this once, just this little extra long episode. Might have a couple of these in the future for random gaming purposes, but for now it's just kind of a relaxed and groovy kind of rest in peace kind of thing towards guy who contributed like a lot to who I am today, because everything I do today now is video games. My writing, my let's playing right now, like people hit me up all the time like, what are your opinions on this or that or whatever, and I appreciate the fact that I'm knowledgeable enough to like know what I know. And shit, if I seriously die right now, like this is actually gonna piss me off, because what? Wait, did he gain health? Oh my god! Stop! Wait, no. Because if I die, I'm gonna be pissed. Yes! Okay, sweet. I didn't die on camera. I felt like that was gonna be really embarrassing, because I had him on the ropes, and then I freaking just lost it. I don't know. So yeah, it's important to remember, like, just do it for the fun. Don't do it for the friggin' leaderboards. Don't do it because you want to get... Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, level your characters up, whatever. But, like, make memories. Have a good time. Laugh along with these games. Don't just sit there with your little headset with your friends going, okay, go left. Go left. Take out the left flank. Get 'em. Go! You know what I mean? Like, just have a good time. Like, I watch people play games all the time, and, like, I'm not trying to judge or anything, but that just doesn't look fun. None of that looks fun. You know what's fun is just like splattering people in Splatoon and then making an inappropriate semen joke or something. That's fun, Like, it's not fun, like, wow, this dude was easier than the friggin' eye. It's not fun, like, shooting someone in the face in Call of Duty and then making a rape joke or something. Like, there's nothing fun about that, I don't know. I just, again, I know I keep saying this, but because it's really important to me, because like I don't enjoy people who like clickbait kind of stuff. I don't enjoy people who think like, oh, it's just okay to just use this guy's death as an opportunity for us to get views on our page or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to show respect by saying the fact that, hey, I didn't know everything in the world about Iwata. True. But as I do know, he was the president of Nintendo. I know that he did a lot of good, such as production work on Pokemon, the original Kirby, Earthbound, which are all games that I freaking love to death, and I'm doing an Earthbound Let's Play that's coming out soon. So, I don't know. I just, that's how I feel about that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so we could play a little Dynablade. We won't finish it, but I don't want this to be too long. Okay, so this is a funny thing that I love Kirby Superstar, but it's one of those games where like it asks you like, oh, do you want to know about this or something, and you say no, and they're like, well, I can friggin' tell you anyway, loser. Screw you, man. Oh shit. I think it's also funny that like this is the beginning like setup to Mario 2, by the way, like where you fall down the thing, like the game that was based on Doki Doki Panic. Like, you just come down this thing, and then there's the door to the right. That's definitely the setup. Anyway, but, yeah, I don't know if I talked about that in another episode, but, like, my favorite Pokemon game of all time is the, Pokemon Crystal. I played the hell out of that when I was little, because it blew my mind, because it was the first Pokemon game to have, like, both, regions, which, also, Iwata is actually to thank for that, because he was the one who compressed the original Kanto region in Pokemon Crystal and Gold and Silver so that he can fit the Johto region as well. So the game was twice as long, thus freaking awesome. And he was actually the one to thank for that, which I've just recently learned. But it's funny how like games do that kind of crap to you. It's just like, okay, let's just make sure so that we're not at fault later on, like no one can complain, you know what I mean? Because like I remember that game always made me laugh, because like in the beginning, where you like, you know, how the usual Pokemon routine where you talk to your mom and she teaches you how to do all the stuff. This was the first game that had like the Pokegear or whatever, like a telephone. I think it was the telephone, and she was like, do you know how to use the telephone? And if you say no, she's like, oh, you just do this, this, and this. But if you say, yeah, I already know how to use the telephone, she's like, don't you just do this, this, and this? It's like, thanks, Mom, I already knew that. I always thought it was cute, but it made me laugh. It wasn't like something that actually annoyed me, but that's a little trope. I don't know how many other video games do that, but like it's a little trope that like nobody really listened to the fact that I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but whatever. So here we are. So there was some question as to who was going to replace Mr. Iwata at Nintendo, which, you know, of course nobody means that maliciously. It's just it's a question to ask, because, you know, Nintendo, as big as they are, you have to, you know, there's other things you got to think about, like contingencies and stuff like that, you know. So you have to look at what's going to happen next, but yeah, I don't know. I read a lot of nice, like, heart-jerking stuff about Iwata, man. Like, I don't want to say any of it because I don't want to seem like a faker. Like, I'm sorry, but like that's how I am. Like, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, woe is me, like Iwata's dead. Like, let me sit here and talk about it and wail about it so everybody thinks I'm sensitive and clicks my video. Like, no, absolutely not. I'm not clickbait. I'm just trying to just be a normal guy who's a gamer who recognizes what happened. So that's how I feel. But I did read some really emotional stuff. Like, the guy was a lot of translated stuff from him, from like people who spoke with him and everything like that. very, like, almost spiritual dude in the way that he just spoke and everything, you know. Very respectable, I gotta say. Like, you would think, like, that type would just be like, oh, we run Nintendo, like, we don't have to give a shit about anybody, but at the end of the day, like, they actually cared about, like, you know, the experience for the player, not just how many sponsors can we get and how many guns and muscles can we put in this game, you know, like, I don't know. Not knocking other games, I'm just simply saying. Hey, stop cooking me! That was always so adorable. But, alright, you're dead. But, yeah, so I've got a little, I already did Spring Breeze. I don't think I'm going to do much more of this. Just wanted to say my little opinion there and whatnot on that and everything as a gamer and blah, blah, blah. Hope you enjoyed our little bonus episode here from GAW. Rest in peace, Iwata. Bye-bye.